Well, here we go again, and here, I thought my 2025 could go on with a peaceful start. Apparently not. Just when I was about to finish my pieces for making an animated video I was planning to finish, I just so happened to stumble upon someone who's been called out for being weird to minors, and look into the thread with a few people, and boy when I say weird, I meant it. Don't worry, I didn't go in the dark with this. 𝐸𝐸𝐻, who's been making call-out videos and posts about this individual. 𝐸𝐸𝐻, who's been consistently talked about for having a server full of minors, which we will talk about very shortly here. Now how did I get into this topic? Well, for simple, I'm friends with someone that was investigating her with 𝐸𝐸𝐻 by their side and tried to confront her about it, but in the end blocked them both from replying and banned them from their Discord server. Luckily for me, I've already planted a decoy account in the server as of planning this video just to see what weird things do they send in that server alone. So far as of now, Pochi had already made a video about her and done a decent job at calling them out and getting more attention to 𝐸𝐸𝐻's callouts to her and spreading awareness about Lola. All videos about this person will be linked down below in the description. Hey you, yes, you. Before we get started, I would like to inform that any proof images shown from the first week of February up until now are still valid proof, as it seems some glazers here try to invalidate it as not a part of the timeline, so if anything shown here from that timeline in this video occurs, it still counts as evidences, so don't lie to yourselves even more. Now back to the video. That aside, what did Lola do? Well, remember what I said about her allowing minors in her server? Well, to put it bluntly, that she allowed users under 13 to join her server, which if you read the Discord TOS, you know all too well that users under the age of 13 are not allowed on the platform. If Discord finds this out, not only would those members be temporarily locked out and banned from using Discord until they're over 13, but it can also be a potential to terminate the said server, and put the owner's account to a risk of being terminated or that overall IP banned. It's also worth noting that Lola is 17 turning 18 this year, a legal adult in the state of Finland. How do I know she's in Finland? Well, don't be too worried because all this information is through the thread I'm investigating with other people. And of course, you can't use the age as an excuse and shield yourself of any consequences. It's also stated in her YouTube that she's a 16+ account, which to no one's surprise, minors can still see your videos even if you say it's 16+. I'm also sure that they can bypass this by using their mom and dad's account and watch your content from there. Not a smart move now, is it? On a side tangent, I was also sent an image in her server that she's playing a game for over 16+ players called Love and Deep Space, which despite the rating of the game being 12+, it's only that way because the company Unpaid wants the game to expand to a bigger audience that may have restriction on 16+ game. However, according to China and Korea, the game is set to 16+ and over because of the progressing implied sexual themes. People in that community are aware that this game is not allowed for minors, and it never will. Don't even argue with me of it being 12+. It is an adult game sugar-coated to be for everyone to reach a widespread audiences without any restriction whatsoever. Are we good? Good. Now if you think it ended at that, you're completely mistaken, because I saw them guilt-tripping a member who's confirmed to be a minor, and reading this through makes me sick in the stomach. As someone who's an unfortunate victim of an assault myself, the result of that it does lead to hypersexuality, although according to some documentaries that hypersexuality is a proposed medical disorder, it is not something to use in guilt-tripping. Those two going together are sensitive topics that should be kept between you and your doctors if you even have those two things in question. And just before people can invalidate this, while you're making a joke of yourselves, I have experienced it at an unfortunate age, and never have I felt anything remotely sexual about it after. It's a trauma that takes a long time to heal, and using it to guilt trip already invalidates the quote apology you made, which speaking of the apology, we'll move on to that, since apparently after skimming through everything in that video, I can say I got a migraine from even trying to comprehend what the apology was supposed to even address everything. Well, not all of it was addressed per se. The hypersexuality and essay wasn't addressed properly, and said it wasn't an apology, which I doubt. For the most part she did address about the minors being in her server, and changed it with the addition of deleting any channels over 15+, which isn't the best taste when you also admit to saying weird stuff in other channels. And then addressing that Pochi was spreading misinformation was a huge lie, because Pochi did contact 𝐸𝐸𝐻 to discuss about it in his channel to spread awareness. Also putting this in on a side note, no one here is pointing you out as a pedo. You're being called out for being weird to kids and telling you to take accountability, which it seems you can't even do yourself when your apology video doesn't address everything fully and shove blame on 3 people for misinformation and quote, harassing you. And by the way, don't think we didn't look into your description, because this just shows you made this apology because someone with double your subscriber count called you out. It just also proves you don't want to take accountability by saying people don't listen if we even tell them not to harass people. Majority do. The minority of them are children who don't listen and go to it anyways. And saying to not come to harass your friends because they support you, they're supporting you by doubling down and making fun of Raiden. Still a behind-the-scene harassment if you ask me. In the end of all of this, your supporters are only children who don't know better and are influenced by what you say. Your actions have consequences, and you can't seem to get a grip on it because you brush it off as a mistake. Which isn't the case at this rate if you even listen through this entire video, in which I doubt you and your fans even do. Just calling us the people not doing research to cry about it. But let me put this straight about the hypersexuality again. If you have it, then tell your doctors if there's a way to cope with it and not just let it loose all the time. There's a reason why therapists exist. You said you're talking to one, so why not ask them for any kind of help, or better, talk to a trusted parent outside of the internet and not rely on children who are in your server. That puts an end to what I have to say here. And Lola, if you try to come at me with your fans saying I didn't do my research or laugh at me in your server, just know I am always ready to call out on your hypocrisy, and I'm not one to go down without a fight.